Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 30th Incite Awards Digital Conference. We will now cross over to Professor Simon Forrest to perform a welcome to country.
Kaya Wanju, Nan Kwel Simon Forrest Burungu. I'm a Wajak Baladong with kin connections to Yamaji and Wongai peoples. I am of this land and place. I was born to this land. I follow a bloodline of people living, walking and caring for this land we know as Australia for over 65,000 years. Nalabuja, my land. Nalangbuja, our land. Australia is a very culturally diverse nation, and that's what makes Australia a wonderful place to live. We all have to be knowledgeable and accepting of people from other countries and know how to live and work and interact with them. I especially welcome people who have come to this country as refugees. This year's NAIDOC theme is always was, always will be. The full phrase is always was, always will be Aboriginal land. In my welcomes, I do a smoking ceremony. And the smoking ceremony is about cleansing or purification of people, place or space. It involves three elements: the warren or sandalwood from my father's country to the north, the balga or grass tree that is widespread here in my mother's country, peppermint or wanil, also here from Noongar country. Kaya Wanju, Nan Kwel Simon Forrest Burungu, Nalabuja, Kaya Wanju, Nidja Wajak Noongar Buja, Nal Karich Noongar Mort, Ken Karich Nidja Buja, Nan Karich Noongar Kabale, Borankorie. Buruan.
Thank you to Elder Simon Forrest for the beautiful welcome to country. A warm welcome to the 30th Incite Awards Digital Conference. To everyone who's watching at home, at the office, in Perth, across Australia and around the world. I'm Lisa Smith.
And I'm Charlie Gunningham.
And tonight, for the next 2 hours, we are your MCs for the first digital conference for WA's longest running awards programme.
It's going to be an exciting evening as we showcase visually for the first time the technology and innovation that lives right here in WA from our 2021 finalists. This year, the Incite Awards received a record number of entries, and tonight is the opportunity for us all to find out more about their technology. You can do that on your screens by using the chat function here on the right to ask any questions or make any comments as we showcase short video explainers of their technology. Also, you can vote for your favorite tech using the polls also on the right of your screen. And by tweeting your digital event experience and your watch parties with us. And don't forget to use the hashtag Incite Awards and hashtag WA Tech. Remember, any comments, tweets, voting that you make tonight gives you the chance to win a $50 Amazon gift voucher.
So before we proceed, and on behalf of the Incite Awards, I would like to thank the generous support of our sponsors and partners who make the awards and this digital conference possible. And this acknowledgement cannot be overstated. Without this support, this event simply couldn't happen. So our sincere thanks goes to the Office of Digital Government, Kinetic IT, Modis, Business News, Diversus, Mechanical Rock, Film My Video from where we're live streaming tonight,
Journey One, Incite, Snowflake, VIX Technology, Better Labs, ACS, MTP Connect WA Life Sciences Innovation Hub.
If Innovation Could Talk, Known Associate, Ava Agency, Tankstream Labs, Aurora and Startup WA. So without further ado, let's cross to Professor Lynn Beasley, the WIETA patron, to say a few words.
Welcome everyone to tonight's event. My name's Lynn Beasley and I'm proud patron of these awards, as I am of Game Changer, our programme for young people to become innovative and entrepreneurial. Welcome to everyone in Australia and across the world. Last year we had people tuning in from Southeast Asia, from the UK and the USA. I hope there are even more countries listening tonight. Welcome to you all. This special event is a lead up to our awards night on the 23rd of July, which is sure to be excitement central. And you know, these awards can lead to big things. One of our winners last year, Spacecraft, is now in discussions with a company in the USA. So watch out for your personal pearls tonight. And talking of pearls, this is the 30th anniversary of our awards, and the pearl is the symbol of a 30th anniversary. This is particularly relevant to Western Australia, where science and technology, underpinned by IT, has led to a flourishing pearling industry where we produce amongst the most beautiful pearls in the world. DNA sequencing has let us select those super oysters to produce the best pearls, and we rely on biofingerprinting to ensure that a pearl from anywhere in the world, we can identify its source. IT, of course, comes into play at the next stage, looking at the distribution networks, the promotion, and of course supporting the associated tourism industry. IT in action. It very much supports our theme for tonight of diversifying the economy and connecting communities. So please enjoy the whole event. I'm absolutely sure you will.
Thank you, Lynn, for your inspirational words and continual support for local tech innovation. Okay, everyone, let's get to know our Incite Award finalists and their technology. The Transformative Solutions Award category celebrates digital solutions that are transforming processes, culture, customer experience, and the way we do business. So let's check out the 8 finalists for 2021.
Visible Machines is a tool for business owners to improve shop floor productivity by increasing the utilization of equipment. The solution leverages a wireless sensor and operator interface to capture utilization and production data. Visible Machines provides real-time notification when equipment is idle and provides actionable insights into the downtime trends to drive continuous improvement. The solution automatically captures machining time as well as overtime for each job and thereby helps business to increase profitability. Visible Machines also helps to improve customer service with real-time production visibility. RaptorCore is an industrial Internet of Things IIoT sensor platform that delivers advanced connectivity, sensing and tracking capabilities for asset fleets across heavy industry. It enables communication between any model or make of machine and provides the right data to enable customers to make the right decisions for their assets. RaptorCore automates collection of data from in-field industrial assets, both mobile and non-mobile, either generating the data itself with onboard sensors or collecting data from other sources. RaptorCore has been developed to meet industrial customers' needs for the future of connected assets.
Okea is the first person-centric wellbeing digital platform to connect consumers, health providers, businesses, family and friends, all in one private, safe and secure online place. The Okea app does this by creating an online and viral community that users can connect to for advice and support wherever and whenever. Ready health data analytics for faster support provision and a 24/7 access to mental health resources and tools. Okea's digital platform empowers members to connect with their health providers to create their own digital care team, as well as access evidence-based resources.
Rio Tinto's AutoHaul system is the first fully autonomous heavy-haul railway system in the world. Trains up to 2.5 kilometres long travel around Rio Tinto's rail network without a driver on board. Trains depart from one of 2 coastal ports and travel up to 500 kilometres to 13 mines, where they are loaded with over 25,000 tonnes of ore and return to the port without a driver on board. AutoHaul has delivered significant production improvements and safety benefits. AutoHaul also holds the Guinness Book of Record for the heaviest robot. Cellar is a connected packaging solution that enables brands to gain frictionless connectivity to today's consumers. Cellar technology-enabled wine lids and labels and QR codes, combined with our software platform, provides wine producers unprecedented visibility from the bottling line to consumers. The solution is made up of a suite of tech-enabled connected packaging for the beverage industry, including tamper-proof closures and label solutions that integrate into the current winemaking process without retooling production lines, and a software solution mapped to a patent-pending beverage authentication process that has been built to protect producers all around the world.
Suits Me is an all-new approach to mental health services, making clients the boss of their own support needs. The Suits Me app allows clients to take control. They can browse support workers and choose one that suits them, their goals, hobbies, skills, or spoken language. Everything about the app is simple, clean, and calm, allowing maximum flexibility while hiding complexity. Suits Me isn't just another service provider, it's an entirely new model of support, putting users exactly where they should be, at the centre.
Pentanet is connecting the people of Perth with a resilient network of high-speed gigabit broadband through the air. Project Gigalink uses bleeding-edge technology to create a wireless distribution network for Perth designed to eliminate the constraints of traditional wireless networks. The mesh design turns Gigalink-enabled premises into a part of the network, with built-in signal rerouting for a reliable, consistent connection. With gigabit speeds over a lower latency connection, Gigalink is bringing Perth's internet up to speed fast.
The Avicenna Sentinel system is a revolutionary low-cost and ultra-high throughput molecular screening and testing system, initially targeting the COVID-19 pandemic. The platform can deliver results in less than 45 minutes end-to-end, and can process up to 4,000 LAMP1-based saliva tests per hour. Avicenna's instrument is an open chemistry platform capable of supporting a variety of LAMP chemistries. Compared to the high-throughput PCR machines, Avicenna Sentinel offers up to 2 orders of magnitude improvement in daily assay throughput, while occupying comparable lab space and at a significantly lower cost per test for both consumables and labour.
Wow, what an amazing display of technology that's transforming organisations with high levels of productivity and competitiveness. Congratulations to Rio Tinto, Okia, Cellar, Raptor Tech, Core IoT, Suits Me and Reach HPI, Avicenna and Pentanet. Now let's take a short break to hear from one of our major sponsors, Film My Video.
Vision is our art form. Emotions are the narrative. And we believe boundaries are just stepping stones. Film My Video. Telling your story.
Okay, let's now find out about the outstanding digital innovation by West Australian-based startup companies. You know me, I love startups. Here are 10 finalists for the 2021 Startup of the Year Award category.
Startup. Hyperfire is Perth's newest cybersecurity startup based on research from Curtin University. Hyperfire brings a new approach to cybersecurity AI by using power laws and behavioral analytics to detect intrusions, malware, and other network anomalies without needing de-encryption faster, lighter, and cheaper than ever before. This new technology harnesses statistical power laws to distinguish normal versus abnormal network traffic. Power laws describe patterns of behavior in nature. These laws also apply to network traffic. Normal network use and cyber attacks have very different mathematical patterns. By using these patterns and pairing it with behavioral analytics, Hyperfire provides a lightweight solution that learns quickly, can't be fooled, is cost-effective, and doesn't need to take your data offshore.
3 to 5 attempts at inserting a cannula is not unusual. Unfortunately, needle insertions fail 40% of the time. VeinTech's solution is the VeinWave, an ultra-portable handheld device that takes the guesswork out of cannulation. Its AI-driven imaging process is optimized to locate and display veins on a screen with a needle guide for accurate insertion. It requires no training and can be used by anyone, anywhere. VeinWave will cost 13 times less than the traditional ultrasound and be accessible to a broad range of healthcare providers.
The VRP is Singular Health's core proprietary technology. The technology uses proprietary code and algorithms to accurately convert 2D medical imagery into volumetric 3D models, which can be visualized, manipulated, modified, and reviewed using a standard monitor or by using virtual reality. It is designed to operate using the graphics processing capabilities of high-end retail-grade hardware, resulting in a low capital expenditure by end users. VRP allows for real-time conversion of medical imaging data. It protects patient confidentiality and enables offline usage of the technology in remote and rural locations.
FrogPonds is a cloud-based software solution that simplifies the sourcing process through digital automation and streamlined workflow. Designed and created solely in Perth, Western Australia, the company provides a national solution for education and a software-as-a-solution model for government, not-for-profit organisations, and business-to-business sourcing. Technology and innovation is celebrated most when it creates something previously inconceivable that offers more and enhances lifestyle. FrogPonds is the technology that makes a huge difference to the bottom line and has multiple flow-on effects. Okea is the first person-centric wellbeing digital platform to connect consumers, health providers, businesses, family and friends, all in one private, safe and secure online place. The Okea app does this by creating an online and viral community that users can connect to for advice and support wherever and whenever, ready health data analytics for faster support provision, and a 24/7 access to mental health resources and tools. Okea's digital platform empowers members to connect with their health providers to create their own digital care team, as well as access evidence-based resources.
Grapher is a financial data, news and analysis platform that gives users access to large volumes of information quickly and in a way that is entertaining and engaging. The platform integrates AI-curated video news from Bloomberg, Reuters, Cheddar TV and allows users to track trends with multi-asset datasets including Australian stocks, global currencies and cryptocurrencies. From novices to professional investors, Grapher is a tool that uses advanced search functionality to search, curate, organize enormous volumes of data, news, video, and analysis within milliseconds.
Functionally is an approachable organizational design software that democratizes organization design and empowers leaders to easily design their own organizations at 1% of the cost of institutional consulting firms. Functionally helps leaders make intentional and informed decisions about structuring their teams and roles. The software provides a unique way to identify and align the priorities of the business, strategize how to resource them, and ensure the right people are in the right roles. Functionly's unique, intelligent drag-and-drop organisation chart approach allows leaders to collaboratively create, template, and test various work design scenarios in seconds, displaying the appropriateness and potential performance effects of the change. Bruno Health is a community healthcare platform that makes accessing allied health and disability services as easy as messaging a friend. The platform connects people to qualified health professionals available for advice and home visits in their local community. The Bruno mobile app and web tool allows patients to directly message allied health and support workers in their local area, or to be matched to a provider based on their need. Bruno also empowers health professionals by putting a high-quality service provision and payment platform in the hands of sole traders. By cutting out the overheads associated with operating more traditional allied health clinics, Bruno Health is able to offer high-quality healthcare services at a lower cost to clients. AudioPlay is audiobook meets theatre meets podcast. An entirely new immersive multiplayer experience that lets children be the hero of the adventure. Kids put on headphones and step into the story. They become the characters, physically playing out the action. With AudioPlay, blanket forts and cushion rafts become the centre of epic adventures that put kids at the heart of the story. AudioPlay's highly active stories get kids up and moving through creative play, encouraging imagination, teamwork, and empathy. The Avicenna Sentinel system is a revolutionary low-cost and ultra-high throughput molecular screening and testing system, initially targeting the COVID-19 pandemic. The platform can deliver results in less than 45 minutes end-to-end and can process up to 4,000 LAMP1-based saliva tests per hour. Avicenna's instrument is an open chemistry platform capable of supporting a variety of LAMP chemistries. Compared to the high-throughput PCR machines, Avicenna Sentinel offers up to 2 orders of magnitude improvement in daily assay throughput, while occupying comparable lab space and at a significantly lower cost per test for both consumables and labour.
As an advocate for tech startups in WA, I'm always so impressed and inspired by the innovation that's generated by that group. 10 in the group this year. Big congratulations to Singular Health, Bruno Health, AudioPlay, Okia, Frog Ponds, Grapha, Vaintech, Avicenna, Functionly, and Hyperfire. Good luck on the awards night. Before we head to our next showcase of finalists, let's hear from another major sponsor, the Office of Digital Government.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Incite Awards. The Office of Digital Government is a proud and long-term supporter of these awards, and I congratulate everyone who's been connected with tonight's event. You may have noticed recently that the Minister for Innovation and ICT has launched our new digital strategy for the Western Australian Government. We thought we'd take the opportunity this evening to show you a short video so that you can become more familiar with the strategy. We very much look forward to the role ICT innovators in WA helping us to deliver. Thank you very much.
The world is increasingly digital. That's why the WA government is using digital services to make it easier and safer for you to deal with us. We've developed a new digital strategy to help us deliver convenient, smart and secure online services to all Western Australians. You'll be able to engage with us from anywhere at any time as one government rather than different government agencies. We'll use data to inform our decisions about the things that are important to you. Communicating online comes with risk. We'll continue protecting our services and information from cyber attacks. And as we become more digital, we'll work to make sure that all Western Australians can access and use digital services. Digital is the future of government services, and our strategy places you at the centre of this change.
Thank you to the Office of Digital Government for your support. It's a great segue for our next showcase, the Innovating Government category. This award category recognises outstanding ICT solutions created in Western Australia dedicated to making governments digitally innovative and inclusive. So let's look at the 7 finalists for 2021.
Innovating Government. Spacetoco.com is a web platform for booking community spaces by the hour, connecting community members with local community and government-owned spaces. Spacetoco is a new, modern and unique experience for both local government and their customers when it comes to facilities and venue hire. Our alignment into local government makes Spacetoco truly unique and sustainable. Our tech solution is proudly built here in Perth, Western Australia. The product development team is based in Perth, and we have been expanding our product offering interstate and into New Zealand.
The Rent Relief Assessment app was built to assist the lodgement and processing of the applications for the Residential Rent Relief Grant Scheme introduced through the Residential Tenancies COVID-19 Response Act 2020. This public-facing portal was critical in providing support to renters during the height of the pandemic. The team delivered a high-quality cloud-based solution within a short time frame, building the processing application from scratch to meet the unique requirements of the public and the tasked government agency during uncertain and challenging times.
Water Manager is the first and only water trading platform in WA. Water rights and requirements can be complicated, resulting in projects being held up for not having access to the right water licenses. So we began trading water licenses, understanding the regulations, and creating a range of online services in licensing. Built by BD Water, it connects buyers and sellers of water licenses, provides an easy-to-use interface that incorporates water regulations, and streamlines the water trading process with the Department of Water and Environmental Regulation.
Frontline clinicians triage and treat patients across WA hospitals, clinics, quarantine hotels and Perth Airport, utilising the device-agnostic COVID-19 digital application. The app enables real-time analytics, which tracks and traces tests, results and people. This provides crucial decision-making ability for hospital operations, predictive staffing, supporting WAPOL with their gate-to-gate processes, and provides assurances in our statewide pandemic response. An integrated smart bot uses app data for SMS pathology results notification, providing timely, patient-centred experience, expediting care needs, and returning individuals to work and their families.
Built for WA Museum Boola and experienced by over 460,000 people since November, the ECMS is a database and API layer acting as a single source of collection information, narrative content, and digital assets that can be deployed to any of our multiple public information outputs, including online collections, in-gallery printed panel text, digital labels, audio tours, and other multimedia. A one-stop digital solution for cultural organisations, it facilitates sharing of quality information about the state's collections with Western Australians and the wider world. The Medical Image and Communication Exchange platform facilitates patient care by allowing healthcare clinicians to securely send patient images and consent forms from personal devices to each other and the medical record. The platform streamlines point-of-care service at WA hospitals by securely capturing and storing the sensitive patient information and images taken from the application. Integrating with existing hospital systems seamlessly, the platform ensures healthcare equity, providing the right care at the right time for all patients, remote and metropolitan.
The Casual Staff Seeker by the WA Department of Education solves the daily problem faced by our schools across WA, finding relief teachers at a short notice. When deployed, it has the potential to save 500 to 1,000 days of effort annually to ensure every student has a qualified teacher in every classroom at the start of every day. The Casual Staff Seeker is intelligent, automated and intuitive, with simplified workflow, improved compliance, and delivery of additional benefits and features to schools and candidates. It integrates a range of systems, provides mobile candidate access, and allows for self-service management by both candidates and schools.
Thank you CSIRO, South Metro Health Services and Fiona Wood Foundation, the Department of Mine Safety and Industry Regulations, East Metro Health Services, WA Museum, BD Water, the Department of Education, Space to Co, and the City of Vincent for your digital solutions that empower our community. Now let's hear from Business News, the Incite Awards exclusive media partner.
Thanks very much, and welcome to our Incite Digital Conference panel, exploring diversification in WA and our economy. Some very exciting finalists we've seen so far tonight. But as we proceed, it's just important that we acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, the Noongar people, and that we pay respect to their elders. Now, diversification has been a very popular discussion point in business in our state in recent years, economic, trade, in other ways too. Everybody talks about it. And today we're going to explore how technology can play a role in a diversified WA. I'm Matt McKenzie, I'm a journalist with Business News, and I'm joined by our panel guests today. James Bromberger, Cloud Practice Lead at Modus. Tracy Wilkinson, Director of Stakeholder Engagement WA at MTP Connect WA Life Science Innovation Hub.
G'day.
And Tom Gurka, Chair of Startup WA.
Thanks, man.
Let me start by talking about technology more broadly. The world's changing. 5G, AI, NBN, remote operations, VR, AR. Which of these technologies have the most potential for WA? James?
I'm going to go pretty weak on this. I'm going to say all of them in combination to varying degrees. And I think given telecommunications is such an important part for this country because of our vast distances, that we can leverage that. And I think we've been very fortunate that over the last year and a half during this pandemic, that we had actually made a start on broader access to broadband across the state. That if we hadn't been able to be in that position, this would have been a lot harder for us to get through as a society. So I think you're going to find a bunch of those things are going to be factored together.
Tom, any views on that?
It's a really good question of which technology. I think if we look in the past, we saw so much wealth being created by the internet and everything related to that. I think if you look forward and think of one single technology that's probably going to have the biggest impact, I'd say it's around AI and machine learning. And I think we're going to see that across every aspect of how we run our businesses. So although all the other communications technologies are important, I think the big one for us, for humankind, is going to be the impact machine learning and AI has on us.
Which could be pretty interesting, I expect, for healthcare, Tracy. I mean,
absolutely fascinating for healthcare.
Artria, I know, in WA. There's others as well. Is it the biggest one for healthcare?
In the digital data sense, like the digital evolution of the healthcare sector is the biggest megatrend that we're seeing now and looking forward into the 10, 20 years into the future. So would I want to bet my houses on just AI and machine learning? Probably not. I think there's lots of other applications. I'm particularly excited about remote operations and our capacity in that space that we're currently using the resource sector to be repurposed into the medtech health sector. Can you imagine remote surgeries, really unlocking the power of remote healthcare and breaking down that increasing the equality of our healthcare across our vast state. So I think that they are all increasingly important in every sector, and definitely the healthcare and MTP sector.
Just sticking with this, it's often said that WA is a leader in the resources industry, for example. Do you feel like we're a leader in biotechnology, in medical innovation?
We actually have a really strong history in medical research. So I'm thinking of Professor Fiona Wood with her spray-on skin. That's now being commercialised and is on market in a company called Avita Medical, which has a market capitalisation, I think, of around $1 billion. A massive success story. It just it's not headquartered in WA anymore. If I could also think of Professor Sue Fletcher and Steve Wilton, who developed a genetic therapy for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, so muscle wasting disorder. There's 3 approved products now on market treating children mostly with this genetic disorder. Those all came out of medical research discoveries from here in WA, and they've been commercialised elsewhere. I don't think people necessarily know about them because they don't have a strong WA presence still, but that's, I think, part and parcel of our MTP or healthcare sector, where all these companies and these ideas are born global. They're not born necessarily just for WA.
I think you raised an interesting point there, that it wasn't commercialised locally. And Tom, you've been in the startup sector for a long time. I was involved quite a lot about 7-8 years ago. And there was still that brain drain where those ideas might be conceptualised here, but they're commercialised either Sydney, Europe or the US. What's that changing? Is that becoming more possible to have that here, that ability to create these organisations and develop them here?
So the answer is yes, it is. I guess the underlying question is, what do we need to enable to give WA and WA entrepreneurs the best chance of success? And I think it's all of the above when we go through them. Startup WA published its top 10 from a policy perspective. One of those is a fund of funds. So how do we help diversify our economy based on what I guess industry and the government want? And one of the things we see, for example, in Launch Vic, they've launched the Alice Anderson Fund of Funds, or the Sidecar Fund, and that gives government the ability to actually steer investment into industries that we think will benefit WA. So I think if we focus on our customers, and I think that's the really important part. So part of the work, and it's a bit of a segue, is we looked at what you need from regional innovators. So if a regional entrepreneur wants to succeed, can they do that? And previous experience was we worked with Department of Primary Industries in New South Wales, and they set up an innovation lab in Orange. And the important point that they worked out is you could develop things everywhere, but your customers have to be local. And I think that's a really important point for us, for West Australia. Although we're not regional, if you like, Perth is sort of the hub, but we have our regions. It's really critical to ensure that if we want to build new businesses, our customers have to be local. And we point to mining, oil and gas, and they're definitely, but what are the other customers that are local to WA that we could focus on? So that funding, access to customers, talent, training, all of the above. And we're going to talk about the opaqueness or the blurring between industry, research institutes and universities to educate. So yes, we can, James, but it does require a lot of things to happen.
I want to explore a bit about what we can learn from elsewhere in the world and how advanced we are perhaps compared to other places, and what we can learn from other places, or perhaps what other places can learn from us. James, you have a lot of international business experience. I mean, how does the tech scene compare here to elsewhere?
It's different. I mean, there is a propagation delay. I think as one of the authors says, the future is here, it's not evenly distributed. Is it Neil? Name escapes me. There's different things at different points. And I think the funding options of startups is one thing which is not evenly distributed. I think the challenges we see in this country might mean that we've been better sometimes at long distance comms and communications and networking than others have been potentially. I mean, I still find it amazing that I can travel across Australia with the same cell phone number and no extra charges. Whereas if you go to Europe, those things are starting to creep back in again. When you go, 20 kilometres across the border, it's ridiculous. So, yes, there's different things. I guess there are talent pools everywhere. It's what congregates those talent pools together, what brings like-minded people together to create something. And sometimes, I mean, these days everyone's working from home, so they're not physically congregating anymore. They're all sitting on instant messenger chat of some sort today, talking and coordinating.
Tracy, just exploring, you've got some experience interstate as well. Are there things that we can learn from Victoria or elsewhere?
I think focusing on our strengths is a good one. Melbourne sort of shines itself as the brain capital, I think it is, of Australia, and puts a lot of extra money into medical research. And WA has also done that with our Future Health Research and Innovation Fund, or the FRIF Fund, because of the long lag times in taking a medical product to market. We won't really see the evidence of that for another 10, 15 years in terms of outcomes. But I think that we're on the right track here and, but probably backing our winners.
I want to shake things up a little bit and maybe ask a question that might be a bit controversial, but I think it's important to explore. Will technology create jobs in WA, or will it lead to fewer jobs? Or is there a risk that if we're not leading the pack in technology that we'll lose jobs elsewhere anyway? Does anyone want to jump in?
Yes, I think the answer is both. I think the net will be more jobs, but they're going to be different. And I think the best example of that is if you go into the mining, oil and gas, you'll see there's a focus on robotics, IoT, using that to understand how they run their businesses and optimize them. So if you take an example where previously you would have had a person walking around a plant. Now, that part of that person's job was to walk around the plant, read meters, listen to what's going on. They're replacing that part of the role with robotics and capturing the data. So that specific part of that individual's role has gone. his or her role hasn't gone. But now what's required to enable that replacement? Well, you need robotics, you need IoT, you need data scientists, you need people to build communications network, you need to continue to enhance and optimize and improve those. So if you think about the tech that's come in behind that, which will replace one part of the job, the same thing is said for autonomous vehicles. We're not going to lose drivers, just that the driver's job is no longer driving. There's a whole range of things from a supply chain management perspective that the driver will now be doing rather than sitting driving the vehicle. So yes, some jobs and parts of roles will be displaced, but I think the net will be a significant increase in jobs, which is why the training is such a critical part for us. Because if you ask the question about how do we compare internationally, well, relatively, our labour cost is expensive, but our access to all of the components required to build things is effectively the same, right? So the more we move to automation, robotics, and we move up the stack, the more competitive we are internationally. So it's critical that we continue to enhance and develop skills within our workplace to allow that.
And I presume that probably brings higher wage jobs too if people are upskilling into using new technology.
Absolutely.
Any other thoughts on that?
I think there's always a push for economy in whatever's being done, optimization of any work that's being done, because the human element is normally the most expensive part of everything. So I think the other thing you're going to find is that the skills retraining is becoming quicker. That loop of new technologies and new approaches. 4 years ago, very few people would have openly spoken about AI. You've seen AI managed services become vastly available online at commodity prices. And as they've driven that innovation cycle and become a commodity thing that can be leveraged by people who don't have a PhD in artificial intelligence, you can easily go, please show me the 5 faces in this photo. Controversial as facial recognition is, it's available. And I think that's where we're going to see, yes, possibly higher value jobs, but more efficiency in those, the manual application of labour in doing those jobs.
And sorry, just to jump in there, is the other bit that is, yes, we are going to see the high skill jobs, but don't underestimate the importance of what typically is called blue tech, which is taking and effectively enhancing the TAFE-based accreditations from a technology perspective. So we talk about, if we digitize agriculture, for example, we're going to need technicians, the people driving around in white vans, going and replacing all the IoT equipment, the networking, the sensors. So that those skills that we typically have in the TAFE need to be upskilled. So there's not just our, at the higher end, there's also the TAFE and that blue tech. And so, for example, I believe AI Group worked with a number of TAFEs around Australia, and they created a diploma which Sage is providing in South Australia. And that's again where we can learn from other states and in terms of look at what South Australia have done in terms of enhancing what TAFE is doing.
I think that could dovetail nicely into a discussion about skills. And I'm curious for your thoughts on a few things. Do we need to do more to train the next generation to have the skills to be ready for this revolution? And also, do we have the right workforce here now? Tracy, any sort of comments? Or?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good one. I work for NTP Connect, so we are the Industry Growth Centre for MedTech, Biotech, Pharmaceutical, Digital Health, which is always a mouthful to get out. But one of our 4 core pillars is workforce skills and upskilling the workforce. There are some priority skills gaps that have been identified, quite a number of them. A lot of them are focused on industry experience, so the real world experience, not just the acquisition of skills. So I'd add that as an extra layer on top of that. And then, of course, how you get that experience without a large medtech industry based in Australia creates another confounding problem. So, I mean, we have a $32 million program that's rolling out across Australia over since last year for 4 years for priority skills gaps training. So do I think it's important? Absolutely. It's a key problem. And a lot of the same technologies, digital data scientists, bioinformatics, genomics, they're all massively in need in the Australian MTP sector, including cyber security as well.
I was going to say cyber.
So those are massive skills gaps in I think, sort of pervasively across all sectors.
James?
Yes, cyber to me is critical, not just in health, but I think the confidence we've got in the digital systems we've got together with the way we've digitized society for everything. Yeah. We've got a lot to do in that. And during this pandemic. I think the restriction of travel has meant that the skills demand has gone up. The available people who've done the study and capability aren't there. So we're really in a bit of a crunch at the moment.
Just a couple of minutes to go, Tom.
Yeah, look, it's a really good one. And this is if you look at what industry is now requiring from educational institutes, it's changing, and it's changing quite dramatically. And we see universities adapting, and we also see schools adapting. One of our policies is teaching entrepreneurship in school. So these are for the kids who don't want your standard degree. And we see All Saints have launched their studio college in I think it is in Fremantle. So it's a range of skills that we have to do. But I think the big one is industry is now saying to their potential employees the skills they need, and they may not be gained through your typical higher education certification. So you're seeing the universities move to micro credentials, you see them moving to adapt, because there's so many ways to be educated. So it's very interesting. So you're seeing disruption happening. I do feel a little that the higher education have a struggle, both from international students and, of course, this continual, if you like, revolution in the education sector. So, yes, massively important, and I think we'll continue to see industry and higher ed work closer together to ensure industry is getting what they need.
In one sentence, as we arrive towards the end, I want you to think about WA, the biggest thing that our state or our government or our people can do to improve the ability for our tech businesses, our entrepreneurs to really make it. What's the top thing? You spoke a little bit about the fund of funds earlier. Is that number one?
So I want to be a little bit, what did you say, controversial.
Good.
I think, and we've got to get the naming right, but esports and gaming is really exciting. So just to give you an idea, I think, I remember the numbers roughly, in 2026, if you look at the growth rate, esports and gaming, I think it's going to be worth around, I think it's $450 billion. The space industry will be worth about 560. So there's a huge opportunity for WA with remote operations, what we see with Arose and others, to really focus on not just the tech that sits behind gaming and esports, but the esports itself. We just had Pentanet GG, just went to Iceland, got through the group stage. Right, that's a club sort of start here, sponsored by Pentanet. Fantastic opportunity, and that's they're like the NBA all-stars that attract kids to come in, both from an artistic perspective as well as a tech perspective.
Tracy?
So I've just had my mind blown by esports. Can you repeat the question for me?
What's the biggest thing we can do for WA?
I think back our winners. Forget the tall poppy syndrome, support the innovators that are doing things now, and share the stories. I think that there's great entrepreneurs here. There's amazing innovators. I could sit here and list another for the next half an hour. And most people don't know about them. So I think that, and if you have money to invest, consider investing in a high-tech opportunity.
James?
I'm going to say it's going to be education in technology, but not education in technology to produce more technology consumers. Everybody out there can consume technology pretty much. It's technology creators, people who can actually think about problems and how they're going to improvise or create something that's going to address that problem and refine it. So there's a lot of gap of getting people who can think like that into the market.
Well, speaking of entrepreneurship and technology creators, we've got some great award finalists that we've seen tonight, and I'm sure you'll continue to see a few more as I throw back to our hosts. Thank you so much to the panel, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt, and our panelists for that insightful discussion on the impact that WA Tech is having on our economy. And now we're going to hear from the Business News, the exclusive Incite Awards media partner.
Talking of impact, it's now time to check out The 10 finalists for this year's social impact category, innovations that are breaking down barriers to accessing health, education, environment sustainability, and social justice.
Social impact.
To address the need for more engaging and immersive mental wellness interventions, Wise Realities started the Feel Better VR program using various virtual reality experiences to promote mental health within vulnerable communities. This includes engaging and fun physical activities, immersive meditative experiences, virtual art, virtual travel, and natural scapes. Feel Better VR is changing health promotion delivery in Western Australia for the better and has the ability to scale far beyond our state's borders into national and international markets.
Airborne IT supports and enables essential services in our furthest and most remote communities. Through partnerships with WA's leading IT organisations and government agencies, our innovative Aero IT service is closing the gap in access to technology and increasing equality in service between metro and remote communities. By combining IT and piloting skills with partnerships with WA's leading digital providers, Airborne IT is providing remote and rapid ICT managed services, delivering VR for immersive STEM learning, and slashing the cost time of delivering IT infrastructure projects.
Missions Connect is the first immersive technological tool of its kind in Australia that will aid in education, truth-telling, and reconciliation. Missions Connect is a virtual reality-based solution in a wide range of modes, from mobile phone app to 360 degrees interactive desktop virtual environment to immersive VR headsets, to be used for preserving tangible and non-tangible assets from a significant period of Aboriginal and Australian history. The platform presents the lived experiences and stories of stolen generation survivors during their time in care at church state-run missions. Missions Connect provides a technology-based infrastructure to enable social inclusion and build social resilience through the lens of Aboriginal concerns. What the Doctor Said is a web-based system, allowing doctors in the emergency department to create personalised discharge instructions that are sent directly to their patient's mobile phone in seconds. Health providers improve patient care with a more standardised and transparent discharge process. Doctors use a guided interactive system to create personalised instructions. Patients have easy access to instructions that are simple to follow and make sense. High-quality discharge can improve health outcomes for patients and families throughout Western Australia.
VIX Pulse is an automated fare collection platform that enables transit agencies to provide a seamless customer experience whilst reducing overall operating costs. Pulse is a flexible, multimodal platform that unifies account-based, closed-loop and open payments into a single solution and has been deployed to cities across the globe.
The importance of STEM skills to solve our complex challenges, be it pandemics or climate change, inclusion or sustainability, has never been more prominent. We need to provoke interest in STEM and develop the capability of all Western Australians to spark change. Earth matters. Rethink the Future is part of the solution. Scitech's Innovation Feature Exhibition offers a unique intergenerational experience that explores a complex problem the community told us is deeply important to them, using hands-on investigation to build lasting impact. Beacon is the switched-on guide for families online by Telethon Kids Institute, Reach HPI and Bankwest. Beacon is a free cyber safety app designed to give parents and carers trusted, tailored information needed to confidently navigate their children's digital world. Beacon helps to reduce harm by providing evidence-based content, advice, and trending alerts. A world-first interactive digital family agreement and support when parents need it most. Beacon is a world-first solution to a 20-year gap. How to keep kids safe online and empower and educate parents to confidently support their children's technology use.
The Handex Dexterity Solution is a virtual reality program that simulates an individual's hand movements in order to allow people recovering from hand injury, arthritis, and other movement issues to interact with the dexterity exercise program in their own home and in their own time. With the use of a VR headset using hand-body sensors, the Handex system creates a virtual set of hands and allows people to practice and improve their dexterity. It is comfortable to use, causes no pain, and allows people of any level of dexterity to take part in the training.
The early years are vital in building children's health, development, and learning. The Bright Tomorrows app by Telethon Kids Institute, Reach HPI, and the Mindaroo Foundation gives parents and carers brain-building activities and support to give children the best start. Underpinned by child development science, Bright Tomorrows provides advice and evidence-based tools to support children's development and learning. Telethon Kids Institute and Mindaroo Foundation have invested heavily in bringing this product to life. Reach HPI added expertise and creative solutions to the various challenges involved in turning the idea into reality.
There are communication barriers and gaps for Indigenous patients and healthcare workers due to language issues and the use of medical jargon. Lowering language barriers can result in improved healthcare, awareness and engagement, resulting in positive medical and social outcomes for communities. The Life Languages project will deliver a youth and community-driven, digitally enabled, nationally and internationally connected platform to translate medical terminology into Indigenous languages. Life Languages aims to improve communication between health services and Indigenous people. By doing so, addressing unmet needs for Australia's First Nations people, we will achieve transformative medical and social benefit.
Fantastic. It's really inspirational to see solutions to pressing social challenges and injustices in our community. Congratulations to Wise Realities, Curtin University, Incite, Telethon Kids Institute and Reach HPI, Life Languages, What the Doctor Said, Airborne IT, VIX Technology and Edith Cowan University.
Right, well, we've got two more award categories to showcase tonight. But before we do that, voting for your favourite tech innovation has now opened. So check the polling to the right of your screen. You only have 3 votes, so choose your top 3 after we've showcased all our 2021 Incite Awards finalists. Remember, the most votes will receive People's Choice Award on stage with Lisa and myself at next week's Gala Cocktail event. Now, let's hear from our Platinum supporter, Kinetic IT, and then head back after that to Matt McKenzie as he discusses how WA Tech is connecting our community.
Kinetic IT is a value-driven, trusted organisation that delivers on our promise to unlock the benefits of the digital world. We do this through Incite, working side by side with our customers to truly understand their business, customise or tailor the solutions to meet their specific needs.
Everything we do is centred around people, it's around customer, and that is really unique in a technology company. It's really difficult to get that balance, and that's something that I think that we do really well. We're all about working together as a team and working with our customers and trying to work towards the common good. It is very much around doing the right thing at work and also from a social responsibility perspective as well, so giving back to our industry and giving back to our community.
Welcome to our second Incite Digital Conference panel, exploring how WA technology connects and empowers our community. I'm Matt McKenzie, a journalist with Business News, and I'm joined by our panel guests, Jonas Peterson, the Office of Digital Government's Chief Digital Officer. Welcome.
Thanks.
We've got Claude DeLucia, Director at Diversis. Welcome, Claude.
Thank you.
And Mark Parker, the Vice President of Regional Engagement West at Kinetic IT.
G'day.
The world is changing very rapidly. We've got new technology, and in my pocket, I have a device that can access most of the information ever created in history. I can call someone on the other side of the world. People can do banking in developing countries. You could film a video and it'll be seen by millions of people. So it's had a huge impact. But there are some people who have missed out on the benefits, or they feel like they've missed out on the benefits. So do Australians see technology as a force for good? And what are the biggest concerns you think you see in the community about technology?
Cool. So do the Australian people see it as a force for good? I think a lot of that's going to be based on their own personal experiences in relation to how that technology is being used with and for them, as well as their ability to be able to access it. So I feel like one of the main concerns of the Australian people, as represented through massive initiatives and infrastructure investments like the NBN and the likes, is actual access to that sort of digital environment and that access to the data. So remote regional communities being able to get access into systems to be able to manage and have agency over their own information and the access to their communities is going to be really, really key concern for a vast majority of people out there in those remote communities environments. In closer to, I guess, the more CBD and large metro regions, the pervasiveness of technology is much greater, as you mentioned, in relation to the access to the technology in your handset. Privacy there, I think, is really, really key for people. The ability to get to and have confidence that their data is being well maintained by the government is really, really key as they roll out and access it and use it for the good, hopefully.
Okay, so infrastructure and privacy in different demographics, two very important concerns, getting the right infrastructure and making sure that there's the right privacy. Claude, just thinking about this question maybe in a positive way as well, IT connects us, the internet connects us. What other ways does technology connect people and bring them together?
Look, my view is that irrespective of their age and gender, where they're located, their ability and whatever, they should all be equal. They should be able to access the same services. They shouldn't be discriminated in any way. And look, there are things that you could sort of connectivity. And look, we're getting a lot more cheaper connections out in even the region areas. So I agree with Mark. So whether it be low orbit satellites and what that means. So in terms of getting the same sort of low cost connectivity to give those extra digital services so everybody can have access to it no matter what. Now, but at the same time, those causes of concerns can flip on the other side, and people get a little worried about space junk, for example, or what pollutants they're creating in the environment by doing these things versus running cables. So there is sometimes a bit of a balance to try to strike there and go, well, you want to increase education and safety, whether it's sort of getting access to health and what have you, and you've got to balance that with the costs and also this. So it is a really difficult one, but certainly I think that the connectivity is key. And finding new technologies of how to deliver that technology is going to be really important for the Australian public.
I love how you mentioned space junk. Probably worth us mentioning the Murchison Wide Field Array up there in the north of the state. Apparently, I understand they're using that to track space junk right here from Western Australia. So we're helping solve a global problem. Jonas, just your thoughts on this theme generally?
On the digital or on this inclusion.
Not on the space junk.
On the space junk.
On the digital inclusion.
Yeah, no, on space junk, I don't have a particular opinion as such. Mm-hmm. I think digital inclusion is, of course, a key concern. And that's also one of the items that basically the government has just launched a new strategy. One of the 4 key items within that is that we need to increase the digital inclusion. We've consulted quite a bit on those items, and really some of the things that have been highlighted as key is what you talk about, the connectivity, but it's also the affordability. So you can actually easily pay, for example, through other types of new modern connectivity like low orbit satellites. It's also developing the skills so people can actually use the technologies and many other things, like the way we design our solutions and so on. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to explore this a bit, the new strategy that's been released. What's your vision around that? What's the government's hope with the strategy? What do you, how can we use technology for the betterment of the state?
So I think it's really around driving the whole of government digital transformation. So not just one agency, but across all the different agencies. And it's focused around one thing is the digital inclusion, bringing everybody along, but it's also creating better services for everyone else. So all those who are already digitally enabled, so we can access government services through basically more self-service platforms that are accessible anytime, easily for all of us. It's also around using data and analytics to create more informed decisions. So we actually can provide better policies, better services to different citizens, different groups of citizens and so on.
That's quite interesting. So can we explore a little bit about how data and analytics can be used? And I'll throw to you, gents, in a minute. But what would be the policies, or what are the key targets for that?
So I think in general, both if we look at companies and government, I mean, we can use data and analytics to create a lot of new value. So some of the areas where it creates most value for government is really on all the biggest, you could say, social and economic challenges that we're faced with, which include, for example, social housing or mental health or other items that have kind of we've seen big challenges also during the COVID pandemic. If you can actually inform policy decisions and benefits and so on based on data that's also more coherent data sets, that just gives us a completely new opportunities to provide better policies, have a bigger impact on the community.
That's really important, focusing on mental health and all the rest of it. And it's great to see something in WA that's using data for that sort of purpose. Gents, any thoughts? What are the ways that we can use data and analytics to benefit our state?
So we're seeing it come to the forefront quite a lot in relation to education, with the way that we're being able to connect with students remotely in classrooms. We're also seeing it with those frontline workers. So the police force, first responders and the likes, their access to that information is just helping them immeasurably in the way that they go about doing their I guess their responsibilities to the community and supporting the community. So I think that has been quite a material step forward of recent years, is getting that access to that digital information. The police officers having access to it on their mobile phones, the teachers and the likes being able to get access to a wealth of information and different education methods and techniques to be able to elevate those students. You also touched on, in relation to out in the communities, the ability for us to be able to use the data. And that's one of those other really key pieces in the community, is that there's the services that we all provide and support out to the communities, but then there's also that work in actually elevating those people within there to be able to, I guess, create and generate careers out of that, and to really look after themselves in terms of their future careers and the like. So education through initiatives like STEM programs, the science, technology, engineering, maths, getting out there and really elevating them, supporting them to be able to, I guess, grow in themselves, make them self-sufficient and afford them the opportunities to be able to leverage all of that information for themselves and their communities.
Claude?
So a few things there, mentioned about data and access to that. I think it's really important, both what the panelists said about getting access to that. So when we start thinking the right way and analytical and problem solving, then they can use that to actually make better decisions or things that we, I guess more elderly may not be able to see and be able to touch into those particular age sets. Additional to that, I think data analytics is really important to as a data-driven approach, to give the people, in terms of the citizens and the community, access to the same data information, but presented in their own way. So it's personalised to them. So for instance, if you're talking about a 60 plus type audience, for the same service that a 20-year-old is going to access, it may not be the same device, it may not be the same form factor, for example. So really understanding that and going, right, make it in context, because ultimately it's the same transaction or same data they want, same decision, but make it, more adapted to what their need is. So the friction's less. So you're going to get more adoption. I guess the digital inclusion that we're talking about here is much higher. So you're not saying, well, that's the only way it is. So then you're giving a more secure, ubiquitous way of actually people interacting with their services. Additionally, just talking about a blended approach, like physical and digital. I mean, we're talking about digital and technology, which is all great, but certainly we mustn't lose touch of the fact that there is a physical presence at the end of the day. And things like mental health, I guess how the effect it does have on people, amount of screen time, whatever else it might be. So we need to make sure that that's sort of taken into account, so that way you're going to allow people to not to be fully digital, and so you've got those connected experiences, no matter what they might do, because you still end up going to a cafe or you go to your school or whatever it may be. I think it's important. So.
Sorry, you were...
Yeah, just and I totally agree. And I think from the government side, the approach is really that, of course, we want to give the digital opportunities to those who can use it, but it won't be digital only. So there will still be other avenues to get support and do your business with government.
So it's fair to say, even though we often talk about technology, in the resources industry or whatever else, there could actually be a real benefit for people that are marginalised in society. There could be a benefit for people in poverty, or particularly in equalising access to opportunities in things like education. Any comments on that?
Well, massively. So, I mean, giving and affording those people, those less represented, those without the opportunities directly in front of them, giving them that opportunities through programs, through government initiatives, through industry participation programs and community participation programs, really does provide channels and avenues for those people to gain access, to gain skills, to be able to take a step forward, get access to it.
Specifically in the use of tech in education, you have a bit of an interest in this. I mean, how powerful could it be in terms of whether it be MOOCs courses for universities, or in the use of technology in marking, or whether it be in AI? What's the benefit?
I'll actually give you a real case example. So one of my startups is an EdTech, and what it did is it does online assessments, and dyslexic children actually struggle when it's on paper, and have to deal with numbers or figures and what have you. But in our platform that we delivered, it also has speech as part of the assessment, so that rather than having to read it and actually trying to have to deal with what's on the screen, they can actually not disadvantaged by the fact that they can hear it, so that it's equal to all the rest of the students. And so in actual fact, you're assessing them equally and fairly. So that was something that we actually didn't think about when we actually developed the platform, but it actually revealed itself. And the teachers were amazed in terms of the impact it had to those children, because actually they gave them the equal opportunity to the rest of them. So that was fair. Additionally, so talking about other types of technologies within EdTech. So in our platform, we're actually developing AI-based technologies, so quite advanced ones, to actually help teach in a blended way in terms of the altering the way the pedagogies sort of delivered. For sports, for physical education, for performing arts and various other things. So I won't get into too much because it's still early stages, but certainly these things we can foresee because it's new. It's like the technologies are there where we can use the mobile phones and what have you. So technology has advanced so far, we're at a point now we can utilize that to actually accelerate and help deliver those better results or services to those children, no matter who they are and what age, and even they won't be marginalized, as you say, so that they'll have the equal chance of getting to that point of success. And that doesn't mean being an elite athlete or what it might be. It just means they're actually not disadvantaged, and that's really important to us.
That makes sense. It's a great equaliser, technology. Yeah. To make things a little bit controversial, perhaps a really tough question, what do we do to manage the ethics, to make sure we get the right outcomes in terms of things like artificial intelligence and all the rest of it? Any comments, gentlemen?
Yeah, so I think a key element is maybe not so much on the ethics, but more on the use of things like artificial intelligence and more generally use of data. One of the key is, of course, the privacy, and how do we actually, on the one hand, both get the enormous value out of the new technologies, so the analytics, the AI, and so on, but at the same time protect the privacy of the individuals, and also give them the choice of to which extent are they using this kind of different services, digital services in general, AI-based services in particular. So that's one element. If we look at it more, kind of the AI question more particular, I think that we kind of globally will see over the coming years more and more standards basically for ethical AI being developed. That's not something I think we can drive out of WA alone, but I think it's something which will happen.
Sorry, proceed.
No, I think that's pretty much. It's pretty complicated to go into how will that develop. I think it'll take a lot of collaboration between both governments and private companies around the globe.
Any further comments on that, gentlemen, as we reach towards the end of our session?
Yeah, we deliver a lot of technologies around AI, and one in particular is software bots, and that can be pretty scary for some people. So, is it taking someone's job away, or what happens to them? Are they going to be displaced? And that is really important when it comes to adoption of AI, and I guess the threat it has to humankind. But at the same time, it has a substantial amount of benefits, because we talked a bit about it before we started the panel about aging population. Well, it can help in that regard, because there are certain jobs or skills that people don't want to learn or do anymore. So it can sort of take those jobs, and that way kids can invest their time and effort into how do we build smarter AI, and to actually, when we come back to ethics, about how do we deal with the data properly, and how do we deal with privacy and security, so when we're making those right decisions and the bots are doing their job, then they're actually making the right decisions and they're carrying forward without a concern. So that's a real passion of mine, to make sure that we can actually fulfill those gaps leading forward.
Mark?
No, great conversation. So I agree with all the points made. Interestingly, also, just in relation to the bias that does creep into AI as well, because it is humans that are doing the programming in relation to it. And we naturally have all of our own biases that then find its way into the way that, that manifests itself. So great conversation. And I certainly think that government and government policy plays a large part in relation to it. But the private sector has an ethical role, absolutely, in relation to it also.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments tonight. And thank you also for joining us. We're going to throw quickly to our sponsors, Modus, and then back to our hosts.
The world is changing. Homes are smart. Work is virtual. Delivery is flexible. Do you have the right skills? Do you have the right job? Do you have the right solutions? We are your partner, building your skills, finding your job, discovering your talents, developing your career, delivering technology, wherever you need. Is changing. Let's develop the future together.
Thank you to Matt and our panellists from Diversas, Kinetic IT and the Office of Digital Government for your valuable insights. Again, an appropriate runway for our next category, the Peter Fillery Undergraduate Student Project.
Peter Fillery Undergraduate Tertiary Student Project. Aeroplan, helping to automate and optimise the flight scheduling process for demanding FIFO workforces whilst aiming to increase FIFO workforce's resource allocation. Aeroplan is a mobile app for FIFO workers to receive flights and a web app for the booking administrator, which utilises dynamic data visualisation techniques to predict the future flight expenditure and flight delays using machine learning. The web app unveils a flight optimisation model that will decrease FIFO flight costs while increasing productivity by displaying flight productivity risks that may affect the FIFO workforce.
Children on the autism spectrum often display profound difficulty in speaking. Labrador Speech Application allows a mobile device to become a communication bridge between child and parent. Using images in the form of thumbnail-sized picture boards, ASD children can interact with family and carers in age and culture-appropriate settings. The Labrador Speech Application makes communication for children with ASD an affordable and reachable option. The application has the ability to release children from the shackles of a non-verbal existence into a world where they communicate regularly and without anxiety.
The Re-Entry Sentry allows underground mining operations to monitor post-explosion fume levels from safe locations on the surface. Monitoring stations are strategically placed underground, providing real-time insight into current atmospheric conditions, relaying this information to our mine controller. By allowing blasting fumes to be remotely monitored, operations can choose the safest and most effective time to deploy our re-entry personnel to reduce their risk of exposure whilst conducting their atmospheric audits and safety checks, creating a safer and more informed mining experience.
Miro, a fully programmable autonomous social robot, has been designed and developed to help with caring for aged care patients. Using technologies such as facial recognition, emotion recognition, speech recognition, object detection, and a smartwatch to track the user's pulse rate. Miro is able to assist those suffering from cognitive decline by stimulating and engaging them with activities, while providing companionship and interaction to comfort those who may feel lonely.
The Underground Mining VR Induction app is a virtual reality induction training application giving new miners the experience of an underground mine site without the associated dangers. The simulated mine site will incorporate key components and equipment of a mine site to improve the user's understanding of key mining terminology prior to exposure within the real world. The Underground Mining VR Induction app has been built in partnership with Barminco and will assist and improve the training that miners will receive before entering the underground.
The Old Perth virtual reality experience takes historical 2D images of Old Perth landmark buildings and converts them into a virtual reality experience. The user has the sensation of walking down the streets of Old Perth 70 years ago and is able to admire the beautiful buildings that once existed. The history of Perth will be lost when the older generation passes away. This VR project provides a way to engage our younger generations to become interested in the history of Perth through the use of new technologies.
It's always such a positive feeling when we see the ingenuity and passion of our young people as they create solutions for our community. Congratulations, Curtin University, Edith Cowan University, and the North Metro TAFE students on your innovations. Before we showcase our final awards category, let's hear from our platinum sponsor, Diversus.
In a world that demands the most innovative business technology solutions, you need more than just another tech consultant. You need penguins. Penguins take on big responsibilities. Penguins thrive in demanding environments. Penguins work together to overcome any challenge. Courageous. Tenacious. Diversus.
Well, I'm excited to be introducing the last category, the finalists for this year's Research and Innovation Awards category. This category recognises the development of a potential new service or product that can have many positive impacts on our community, business and society. So let's meet our final 6 finalists.
Research and Innovation. Rio Tinto's auto haul system is the first fully autonomous heavy haul railway system in the world. Trains up to 2.5 kilometres long travel around Rio Tinto's rail network without a driver on board. Trains depart from one of 2 coastal ports and travel up to 500 kilometres to 13 mines, where they are loaded with over 25,000 tonnes of ore and return to the port without a driver on board. AutoHaul has delivered significant production improvements and safety benefits. AutoHaul also holds the Guinness Book of Record for the heaviest robot.
3D Measure Me is a smartphone application to obtain and track body measurements. You take a few photos and we create an accurate 3D model of your body and extract over 70 measurements. Our fitness measurements help you achieve your fitness goals. Avatars provide visual comparisons showing changes in body shape. Our clothing measurements ensure you know what size of clothing to buy. When shopping with our clothing partners, we provide user-specific size recommendations. You can even share avatars to help others with shopping for you.
Dash Maintainer tools will eliminate facility potential risks from every heavy mobile machine on the planet, ensuring maintenance technicians get home safely to their families every swing. This is done by giving maintainers live equipment diagnostics via a tablet or smartphone. It keeps them away from running equipment, which is dangerous, and takes any guesswork out of maintenance. Dash is a modern industrial Internet of Things-based platform developed by BHP in collaboration with the Australian Met sector, manufactured in WA. This is the type of agility resource companies will need to be competitive in the future. Openly is a digital remote monitoring platform designed and created by healthcare technology company Emeria. Openly is a health screening service powered by your smartphone and backed by a clinical team. It combines a multi-factor health and wellness review consisting of symptom questionnaires and the ability to measure key vital signs, including heart rate using the camera on your smartphone. Openly is the only smartphone application in Australia that has a Class 2A TGA registration for its cardiac vital sign readings. This means the readings one can obtain from their smartphone has Modern farming technologies are vulnerable to field attacks from criminals. The Remote Data Sensing, Awareness and Training RedSat system places mobile deployable honey net traps into remote and regional agricultural areas to collect and assess data from outside attempts to attack information systems. RedSat works where sensor data required can be obtained through long-range and low-power networks. RedSat empowers and informs remote farmers. It mitigates threats from attackers in crop and livestock information, and it reduces external market manipulation of the Australian food bowl.
The Avicenna Sentinel system is a revolutionary low-cost and ultra-high throughput molecular screening and testing system, initially targeting the COVID-19 pandemic. The platform can deliver results in less than 45 minutes end-to-end and can process up to 4,000 LAMP1-based saliva tests per hour. Avicenna's instrument is an open chemistry platform capable of supporting a variety of LAMP chemistries. Compared to the high-throughput PCR machines, Avicenna Sentinel offers up to 2 orders of magnitude improvement in daily assay throughput, while occupying comparable lab space and at a significantly lower cost per test for both consumables and labour. What the Doctor Said is a web-based system, allowing doctors in the emergency department to create personalised discharge instructions that are sent directly to their patient's mobile phone in seconds. Health providers improve patient care with a more standardised and transparent discharge process. Doctors use a guided interactive system to create personalised instructions. Patients have easy access to instructions that are simple to follow and make sense. High-quality discharge can improve health outcomes for patients and families throughout Western Australia.
Wow. Big congratulations to Edith Cowan University, Rio Tinto, 3D Measure Me, BHP, What the Doctor Said, and Maria for all your exciting research and development projects. Best wishes for those projects going forward and good luck on the night.
Well, folks, we are getting very close to closing tonight's 30th Incite Awards Digital Conference. Thank you to everyone who's watched tonight's event. We've been joined by nearly 400 people. Right. So please let us know in the chat box where you're joining us from. We hope you've been as inspired as we have, finding out more about the technology innovation that lives right here in WA.
Absolutely. Now remember, voting is still open for the rest of the night for your favourite tech innovation. So use up your 3 votes and encourage others to jump in and cast their top 3 as well. Thanks for jumping online and giving us your time today. I've been told by the Incite Awards team behind the scenes here, they've done a random draw for the $50 Amazon gift voucher. And, drum roll, the winner is Ryan Abrahams. So congratulations, Ryan. An Incite team member will be in touch with you and email you your prize.
So 2 more things before we close for the night. If you would like to find out who will take out the big first place and merit for each of the award categories, join us for the Gala Cocktail Presentation Night at the West Inn next week, 23rd of July. And also head to inciteawards.org.au to buy your tickets. We've got 450 sold already, so be quick.
There's only a few left, I think.
Absolutely. Have you got yours, Charlie?
I've got mine.
Good.
I bought 5.
Did you?
Yes. And a big thank you and virtual applause for those on industry, all the finalists. Keep doing what you're doing, and everyone in this Incite Awards who make it possible. This is the 30th year milestone. Thank you to the Office of Digital Government, Kinetic IT, Modus, my old friends Business News, Diversis,
Mechanical Rock, Journey One, Incite, Snowflake, Vix Technology, Better Labs, ACS,
NTP Connect WA Life Sciences Innovation Hub, If Innovation Could Talk, Known Associate Events, AVA Agency, Tankstream Labs, Aurora, Startup WA, and to Troy. Now, Troy has done an amazing job tonight. You don't get to see what's happening behind the scenes here. We look very calm. What is happening behind is technically very hard. So a big shout out to Troy and the team from Film My Video, who created all the amazing explainer videos of the finalists of the Tech Innovation and ran this thing live tonight. Why they decided to put it live, I have no idea.
Very brave.
We got away with it. So thank you, Troy and everybody. You guys rock. Neve, Incite team, you did amazing. Thanks for taking us through the creative challenge of this digital conference tonight.
Yes, an amazing job all round, I think. Thank you to those of you who have joined us again. We look forward to seeing some of you face to face.
All of you. All of you.
Yes, all of you. Hope you've all got the tickets.
Yeah.
At the big event for 2021, the Gala Cocktail Presentation Night. So don't miss it. It's going to be a great night. So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her. Good night.
Good night.